In today's news, tensions surrounding a recent agreement between the United States and Iran have escalated once again. The White House has pushed back against bipartisan criticism of this deal, emphasizing that concessions made were contingent upon Iran's behavior to secure peace. This comes as details of the framework agreement, known as a Memorandum of Understanding, have finally been shared with the public. Vice President J.D. Vance, who played a role in negotiating the deal, told reporters that it was structured to reward Iran for good conduct. However, the text of the agreement reveals a stark contrast from what the administration had previously stated. The Trump administration agreed to release billions of dollars worth of Iranian assets frozen by the United States upon implementation of the memorandum before any further actions are taken or additional negotiations begin. Among other significant concessions offered to Iran, the U.S. is now allowing Tehran to resume trading its most valuable export, oil, and breaking with decades-old policy by ending a naval blockade around Iranian ports. Additionally, Trump agreed to establish a fund of at least $300 billion for the reconstruction and economic development of the Islamic Republic, essentially providing reparations for the war that he started. Republican senators have been particularly vocal in their criticism. Senator Roger Wicker from Mississippi, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, expressed his opposition by saying, "This $300 billion fund would make Iran's payoff under President Obama's 2015 deal look like a pittance by comparison." Similarly, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas accused the Trump administration of giving Iran money that could be used to kill Americans. He stated, "History demonstrates that giving billions of dollars to theocratic lunatics who want to murder us is an exceptionally bad idea." The Obama-era deal, known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA), included structured sanctions relief in exchange for concrete and verifiable steps by Iran to dismantle much of its nuclear program, a framework that Republicans broadly criticized. In stark contrast, Trump's agreement commits the United States to pursuing economic relief for Iran without any clarity on the future of Iran's nuclear program, arguably the very issue that Trump cited as his rationale for launching a war. This memorandum includes a pledge by Iran to never purchase or construct nuclear weapons, a vow the Islamic Republic has made multiple times. However, critics argue this lack of specificity could lead to continued ambiguity about Iran's intentions in the future. Vice President J.D. Vance has now announced he will not be traveling to Switzerland tonight for talks with Iran. A spokesperson from the White House confirmed this, stating, "We look forward to beginning technical talks as soon as possible." This decision reflects the continued uncertainty and disagreement surrounding the terms of the deal. The administration's defensive posture comes amid growing bipartisan criticism that highlights the significant concessions made by the Trump administration in exchange for a vague agreement with Iran. The stark contrast between the Obama-era JCPOA and this new framework underscores the fundamental shifts in U.S. policy toward Iran under President Donald Trump. The White House's stance on this deal has further divided the political landscape, particularly within the Republican Party. A split over Iran between two top presidential contenders has burst into the open. While some Republicans continue to support the agreement, others remain deeply skeptical and critical of its terms. The ongoing debate highlights the complex nature of foreign policy decisions that often face significant internal divisions in American politics. Moreover, this deal represents a significant departure from decades-old U.S. policy toward Iran. Critics argue it could embolden Iran to pursue aggressive actions or undermine efforts to address regional security concerns. As negotiations continue, both domestic and international stakeholders will closely monitor the implications of these agreements for stability and security in the Middle East. In summary, today's news underscores the complex nature of U.S.-Iran relations and the significant shifts in policy under President Trump. The agreement's terms have sparked intense debate among lawmakers and analysts alike, with potential long-term consequences that extend far beyond this particular deal.